Tops receipt myself. I prefer Aldi's, actually.
And welcome back to Season 3, Episode 10 of
The Game Show.
Today's episode, not so special whatsoever. No, there's nothing different about this one except for the fact that it is 3 professors today. Wow. Yeah, that's not something we've ever done before. These are 3 professors that I've had a couple of times, and so has everybody else in the station at one point or another. So we are very excited to see how this is going to turn out today. We'll see if they get anywhere near close our last winners, or they might knock them all out of the park. So they might do way better, they might do way worse, or they might be like the rest. And the only way we're going to find out is by answering some questions. So what we're going to do first, as we do every week, we'll start at the man closest to me. You may say your first and last name, your hometown, and what your major was in college.
Hello, I'm Professor Mike from the Communication Department. I teach lots and lots of stuff. My current hometown is Sheridan, New York, and my major in college, back in prehistoric times, was history.
All right, Mr. Mike Igo, I understand that you have an interesting favorite reading material.
Yes, as a survivor of the law class, you would expect me to be reading heavy-duty scholarly journals in my quiet times, but no, actually, I enjoy reading comic books. It can now be revealed.
Was that something that you've had for a long time, or was it something newer you picked up?
Obviously, when I was a kid, I always enjoyed it, and I got back into it in my adult life because I found it's a great release, you know? Seeing the superheroes beat it out kind of releases the tension of, academia, grading tests, and so on and so on.
And if you recognize him, that's probably because he was a reporter on Channel 2, right?
20 years worth, yeah. And 30 years in the media altogether.
So if you were not imagining things, this is actually him, yes. And finally, we will move on to the middle. Roz, you can say your first and last name, your hometown, and your major in college as well.
Hi, I'm Associate Professor Rosalind Smith, and I come from Greenock, Scotland, which is not very famous over this side, but very famous in Europe. I majored in film and media studies and did my postgrad in the very same. And I live in Fredonia at the moment.
Perfect. So I understand that your favorite war movie is The Great Escape, and that's not one that's really looked highly upon in the country.
Yeah, it's very, very famous in Europe. I think it's around the top 10 in European films. And it's about a true story, and it's got an all-stellar cast such as Donald Pleasence, James Coburn, Richard Attenborough, Steve McQueen, and he's got a very famous scene in it where he's actually doing his stunts, or most of the stunts, on his little motorcycle. I've seen it at least 3 times a year since I was 6.
Wow.
So I can almost say all the words verbatim, and each time I watch it I see something else that I've never noticed before.
That's like Vince with a face in the crowd. But yeah, that's really cool. Donald Pleasence, I know him from Halloween.
Yeah.
So
he was Blofeld. And
yes. All right, and then finally, last but most certainly not least, you can introduce your first and last name, your hometown, and your major in college.
Vincent Quattrochi. I was born in Greenport, Long Island, and in college I was a malcontent dropout.
That's great. Great to hear.
I think I still am. I don't know why I'm teaching college other than it's a paying gig. But
yeah, and I understand that just yesterday you read poetry down in New York.
Yeah, over in Hell's Kitchen, which is right around the corner from where the Light Show comes, the theater. Yeah, Stark Reality with Viviana, known as the bitch without a niche. She's a tough gal, and I've been running around in that series for 10 years. Also do a lot down on the Lower East Side. Anything below 14th Street on First Avenue.
Nice.
All the way down.
Yeah, you have a lot of published poetry works and stuff.
Yeah, it gets around. So far, legal precedents are outstanding.
Well, that's great.
We'll have to see. You never know when you might write something. It's the time to be brought up with the new witch trials. and you get canceled.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if all those years of writing poetry helps you with trivia today.
Well, we'll see.
So today, the professors are playing for a $25 Olive Garden gift card. There is not one of these in Fredonia, but whenever they happen to be driving through Erie, Pennsylvania, or Buffalo, or in New York City, wherever they find one, they can use it then. And just before we begin, we got to go look back at our leaderboard. The professors are eligible for the leaderboard, so if they win higher than at third place, which is at 1160, they will push Jules Hopeding off the leaderboard, who's at third place, like I said. And second place, we still have Nicholas Dahlin at 1290. And then at first place, this guy's already made it to the final because there's only that much episodes left. Alex Simmons at 1680 points. We will see him in 2 weeks.
Makes sense.
Will we see one of these? Only time will tell. All right, who's ready to start?
Let's go.
Awesome. He said it first. That's good juju for him. Let's take a look at the board for our first round. So, our first round today, we will be quizzing you on the Great Lakes, museums, lyrical locations, and Schoolhouse Rock. That was something I was waiting to do with the teachers over here. Schoolhouse Rock, right? Raj, you're shaking your head?
Is that music?
Schoolhouse Rock is a variety of educational shorts that at least my parents grew up watching in school.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, if you don't know them, you might be able to use your context clues to get the correct answer as well. So, on that note, Mr. Mike Igo, you may pick your category and points allocated.
How about lyrical locations for 10?
Lyrical locations for 10. Johnny Cash was famously sent to Folsom Prison in his song Folsom Prison Blues for shooting a man in Reno just to watch him die. What state is Folsom State Prison actually in? Is that A, Texas, B, California, or C, New York? Now you guys can all write your answer, flip it, and then I'll ask you to reveal your answer all at the same time. All right. What do we have to say today? A, and A. Folsom State Prison is actually in B, California.
The things we learn.
All right, Roz, we're back up to you.
Let's do museums for 40.
Museums for 40. Going to 40 now. The world's largest toy museum complex in Missouri is actually made up of 6 museums. Which of these museums would you not find there? Would you not find A, the National BB Gun Museum, B, the World of Checkers Museum, or C, the Arcade-O-Rama Museum? All right, you can show your answers. A, C, and A. All right, well, someone else is starting the lead because it's C, the Arcade-O-Rama Museum.
Yes.
Any reason you picked that, Roz, or was that kind of just a random guess?
It was a random guess, but I thought, well, don't think I would like to go to an arcade for a museum.
Hey, if that's your reasoning, and it worked for you, so.
Let's go Schoolhouse Rock for 10, please.
Schoolhouse Rock for 10, I like it. I like it. Lolly, 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 get your blank here. In this classic Schoolhouse Rock short, what are they selling? A, prepositions, B, conjunctions, or C, adverbs? All right, A, and C. So it is lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. It is C, that is. Did you know that one, or was that a guess?
I was just looking for the cadence and the lyric, and that's the only one. And I think that is an adverb as it's used.
Let's try lyrical locations again for 20, Brian.
Lyrical locations for 20, absolutely. The Beach Boys took us to a fictional tropical hotspot in southern Florida with their 1988 song Kokomo. What other real tropical location is also mentioned in the song? Is that A, Bora Bora, B, Hawaii, or C, Key Largo? What do we have to say for that answer? C, C, and B. It is C, Key Largo.
Key Largo, keep everything, I'm gonna take it.
What were y'all
I
doing?
was just singing it yesterday. It was on the radio.
Really? Yeah. I think it's like it's Aruba, Jamaica,
Yeah.
Bermuda, Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Come on, pretty mama.
The Beach Boys, yeah.
I'll do lyrical locations again for 40.
Lyrical locations for 40. Steve Miller detailed his extensive trip to be with his sweet baby and his song Rockin' Me. Which of these locations, however, were not mentioned? A, Northern California, B, Tacoma, Washington, or C, Portland, Oregon?
How does it sing? Sing it.
I'll do the chorus where it's like, we'll keep on rocking me, baby. As generic as that is.
All right. Never heard him.
Yeah. All right, which one was not mentioned? B, C, and A, all different answers. So the one that was not mentioned was C, Portland, Oregon.
Yay!
Wow. And we're back up to you. Let's get out of that little rut.
What rut?
No rut. No
I'm
rut.
not
if you
here
don't
to be
think there is.
smart, pal. I'm just hanging around. I don't work on Sundays. I'm missing the Mets game. Great Lakes for 10.
All right, the Great Lakes for 10. I see you got the hat on.
Yeah.
All right, the 5 lakes known as the Great Lakes are all known for being just that, great in size. Which lake, however, is the smallest of the 5? Is that A, Lake Huron, B, Lake Erie, or C, Lake Ontario? All right, which one do we think is the smallest? A, and B. Interesting choices, because the smallest one is C, Lake Ontario.
Ontario looks pretty good.
And we live in Western New York. How sad is that? Lyrical locations for 30, Ryan.
All right, lyrical locations for 30. The Eagles were standing on a corner in which Arizona city when they spotted a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford slowing down to take a look at them? Is that A, Scottsdale, B, Winslow, or C, Tempe?
Sing that one as well.
There's a girl, my lord, in flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. But we're not going to give you the part that is in.
easy. Take it easy.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why it's doing
Don't
that.
let the sound of you.
Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. It was the early 70s. I wasn't alive, but I appreciate the music.
You didn't miss
I was in
anything.
school. I was too busy studying.
I was in college.
All right, which corner were they standing on in which city?
That's a B.
That is a B, all right. Yeah, B, and B, yeah. It is Winslow, Arizona.
Absolutely.
That was a guess.
I was standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona.
There's a
All
girl,
right.
my lord.
We are back up to Roz. What would you like?
Do the museums for 30.
Museums for 30. The Smithsonian National Museum of History is in Washington, D.C. and houses art and artifacts of great importance. Which of the following is currently on exhibit there and has been primarily since it was donated in 1958? Is that A, the Hope Diamond, B, the Venus de Milo, or C, the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton? C, C, and B. A, the Hope Diamond.
I was going to put that.
Hope Winter?
Yes, Hope Winter is actually on display
WNYF.
in
Stanford.
the Smithsonian National Museum. All right, yeah, still 50 to 130 to 40. Quattrochi, we are back up to you. What would you like?
Let's try Schoolhouse Rock for 40.
Schoolhouse Rock for 40. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Who was the voice of this bill? Who arguably had the most recognizable line from Schoolhouse Rock? Is that A, Jack Sheldon, B, Grady Tate, or C, Dave Frischberg?
No idea.
Who do we think sings that? B, C, and C. There's a trend going on today because it is A. Jack Sheldon. Grady Tate actually did a lot of Schoolhouse Rock too.
That's why I guessed him. I remember his name. But
Yeah, he did a lot more of the soul stuff.
Yeah.
Professor Igo, what would you like?
How about museums for 10?
Yes, museums for 10. Which famous architect designed the glass pyramid at the Louvre in Paris? Is that A, I.M. Pei, B, Frank Lloyd Wright, or C, Zaha Hadid? A, and B. It is A. I.M. Pei. Didn't he do, he did one of the buildings in Fredonia, right?
Exactly.
He
It's
did
now
most
been
of them,
demolished. Part of it was anyway.
He did
The
McEwen.
ramp.
He did what?
Did McEwen. He did all the brutalism.
The ones that are like kind of like the...
Yeah, the ramp that used to lead to the Williams Center has been demolished because
Okay,
it
yes.
rained more underneath it than it did outside when it was raining.
like Maidum and all that stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's now 60 to 140 to 40. All right, who we back up? Where we at? Roz? Yes, Roz, what would you like?
Museums for 20.
Museums, we'll finish off that category for 20. Where was the original Madame Tussauds Wax Museum located? Is that A, Chicago, B, London, or C, New York? B, and B. Yeah, it was B, London.
Been there.
That one seemed
Twice.
less of like a guess. More of you guys kind of knew that.
Actually,
Yeah.
I thought it was Paris, but that wasn't one of the answers. A smart professor didn't choose Paris.
You had to go with the one in Europe, right?
Indeed.
Is the 40 for Schoolhouse
Oh,
Rock
yes, I
knocked
have
out?
to-
I
I
just
have
was
to preface.
just checking.
For some reason, this 40 on this question, only this board does not go away. So we're going to pretend that 40 is gone.
I'm going to go Schoolhouse Rock again for 30.
Schoolhouse Rock for 30. Known for brushing up on every area of education that a child would be exposed to in elementary school, which subject was the first to be done by Schoolhouse Rock, with the music sung and written by Bob Dorough? Is that A, American history, B, math, or C, economics? What was because like they were all released in subjects, so that like each season would be a different subject. Which one was the first? B, A, and A. It's B. Yeah.
I remember.
I have it on vinyl record.
It pays to have younger sisters.
Really?
Sometimes. Let's try Schoolhouse Rock again, since we're on a roll.
Back again to educate children on more current issues, Schoolhouse Rock returned for an additional season in 2009 to tackle which issue? Is that A, political corruption, B, technology addiction, or C, climate change? Which issue did they tackle? B, B, and C. All right. So they came back in 2009 for C, climate change.
I nearly put that.
I almost put that too. That one I didn't see.
Technology addiction.
My sisters were grown up by then, so I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. That was something that I discovered when we were writing questions for this category. So, Roz, which one would you like from that?
40, please.
All right, the Great Lakes for 40. Move over, Loch Ness Monster. Lake Erie has its own Erie Sea Monster. What is the name of this monster of folklore first spotted in 1817? Is that A, Scylla, B, Bessie, or C, Luska? B, A, and B. Yeah, it is B, Bessie.
Bessie after Nessie, I should have known.
Nessie and Bessie.
Yeah,
They were
there's
going
a
for the
fabulous
They
museum
were
up
going
in
for the
Loch
rhyme.
Ness all about the Nessie.
Yeah, that's
She's
cool.
not shown her face for quite some time, so.
We will finish off this round with you. You have the last pick.
30.
30, all right. Which city is not on the border of Lake Michigan? Meaning it is not like touching it by any means. Is that A, Detroit, Michigan, B, Green Bay, Wisconsin, or C, Chicago, Illinois? B, B, and B. You would think, right? A,
Detroit.
Detroit,
I nearly
Michigan.
put Detroit.
It's actually on the other end of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you go all the way down Lake Erie, yeah, the other, like Buffalo's at the eastern tip, and Detroit's on the western tip.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a big lake.
Oh, wow.
And then finally, we will finish off this round, the Great Lakes for 20. Stemming from the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in 1975, which lake is said to never give up her dead? Is that A, Lake Superior, B, Lake Michigan, or C, Lake Huron? B, A, and A. C, what was the concern about? It's A.
Yes. Yes.
A, Lake Superior. All right, we will finish off round one of this very, very not special episode today with the professor at 150, Roz in the lead at 180, and then Vincent Quattrochi tied with the professor at 150. So it's a very close game here, folks. There was no rut, but you got yourself out of it. So, and it's all of a sudden a close game. How do we feel that round went? What are you guys' thoughts so far?
It's a lot of
Still
fun.
getting into it. We're still getting into it.
Still getting
Just
into
getting
it?
the feel of the game, you know?
All right, Roz, any thoughts?
No idea. I don't know any of the answers to this
Well,
stuff. It's too hard.
You're doing pretty good in terms of picking
hard.
without knowing. And then any thoughts?
It's a lot of fun. I watch Jeffrey with my wife all the time. After I come home from work, I'm gonna beer. So this is kind of cool. I showed her the program today.
Nice. Well,
She would love this. I mean,
in a couple weeks, you'll be able to watch yourself. So, and then you'll have her judging you if you don't win. So,
Yeah, there you go.
Different kinds of pipes that freeze for different reasons. To protect yours, wrap insulation around exposed pipes. If a hard freeze is forecast, open the doors under sinks and let the hot and cold faucets trickle overnight. Leave the heat on if you're leaving town. Following these steps can get you through cold weather on a high note.
During World War II, recycling was a way of life on the home front. Rubber, tin cans, cooking grease, paper, scrap iron. Those and many more items were recycled for the war effort. It was a time of crisis. The nation desperately needed new sources of raw materials. Millions of Americans were united in a common cause. Today we face a crisis no less real, but of another sort. A solid waste crisis that can no longer be ignored. We are simply running out of places to put our garbage. With your help, we can meet this new challenge as well. Source separation and recycling will save valuable space in our landfills and help protect our drinking water and the air we breathe. Together, we Americans can win the war against waste. Start recycling today.
I'm just reading them over because I have to know if they're true or false too, obviously. Expecting a lot out of you.
Don't put pressure on me. I don't work well under pressure.
All good? And welcome back to round 2 of
The game show. The game show.
He just said it. All right, so I'm gonna use, actually I will be using that audio bite from now on. All right, so the professors are back. And they're about to participate in the true or false round. Professor Mike Igo, how do you feel about this round? How do you feel about your chances?
I feel good, real good.
You feel good? Real good.
Real good.
Roz?
Terrible. Feel bad.
But you said about that in the beginning too, and look at you're still in the lead. So.
It was luck.
All right. And Vince over there, I know you're a baseball fan.
50-50.
50-50. All right.
Well, that was a baseball player talking. That was an old defense story. I said I feel good, real good.
Yes, it doesn't always translate over, but like we said, our record is still 10 for the true or false record, as Claire Normoyle got a couple weeks ago. And I guess you got to embody what she said before she started the round. She said, "I'm going to press this button faster than an old person with life alert." So,
No.
Well, I can relate to part of that anyway.
all right, so we are going to start. You will have 90 seconds to get as many as possible. And I believe in you guys, so we will begin. Just like I said, watch my finger, and I'm going to read them off the screen. We will begin now. The city of Rotterdam is in France. Vince.
False.
That is false.
Right.
Benny Goodman was a jazz clarinetist. Roz.
True.
That is true.
Right.
W&T is the stock exchange symbol for Walmart. Roz.
True.
That is true.
Right.
The band Toto is from Europe. Roz.
False.
That is false.
Right.
Organic chemistry is the study of carbon. Roz.
True.
That is true.
Right.
Trout are never found in salt water. Roz.
True.
That is false. Drain cleaner has a pH of around 13.
True.
That is true, yes.
Right.
Alex Trebek never received an Emmy. Roz.
True.
That is false. Canada has 10 provinces and 1 territory. Roz.
False.
That is false.
Right.
Biryani is South American food. Roz.
True.
That is false. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. Mike
That
Igo.
is true.
That is true, yes.
Right.
Mowgli is a character from Where the Wild Things Are. Vince.
True.
That is false. Bananas Foster is usually made with rum. Roz.
True.
That is true, yes.
Right.
Lionhead is a species of rabbit. Roz.
True.
That is true, yeah.
Right.
Plexiglass is usually plastic. Vince.
True.
That is true, yeah.
Right.
Howard University is in Washington, D.C. Roz.
True.
That is true, yes.
Right.
And finally, Stavy B's is a Mexican food chain. Roz.
True.
That is false. Wow, Roz.
No kidding.
How many did we get?
You're good
Well,
at
we're gonna
the
find out
button,
very shortly. Nick, what did the professor get? 2 points. 20 points for you. That's 2 right. So that puts your score up to 170, which will change in a bit. What did Roz get, Nick? 8. Roz got 8.
Whoa.
Wow, which if the 10 wasn't already the record, that would have been the new record. So Roz got 80 points today, so that puts her score up to 260. And what did Vince get? 2 as well. 2 as well. So they stay tied, but this time at 170. So now the scores after this round is the Professor Mike Igo at 170, Roz at 260, and Vince Quattrochi at 170. All right. What are the thoughts about that round?
Can we do over?
I mean, no. But what was with the lack of confidence? Because you did great.
Oh, I don't know.
I guess if you're gonna be the winner, you got to be humble about it, right? And what's going through your head after that?
I think her butt was rigged.
He
Gave her the hot
I think
butt,
her
which is
men's
cool.
helped
I'm
to react quickly.
glad she got it.
All right. Well, let's not forget that they are playing for $25 to Olive Garden today. Like I said, can't be used in Fredonia unless they make one in the next couple months, but I don't think they will. So will be something when they go on a trip. So Olive Garden, don't forget about that, people.
Okay.
Those are some good breadsticks
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Okay,
Good breadsticks, good chicken marsala.
got it.
Yeah, breadsticks
Never
are
been to Olive
awesome.
Garden.
Oh, well,
It's lovely.
better be.
The pasta's great.
Pasta is great. Now back to Diener's storybook.
Yeah, I came to tell you that your tactic really worked.
I knew you could do it.
I need your advice for something else, too.
What do I look like, a therapist?
I don't know what to do.
Maybe arrange a friendly basketball game with him.
Maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Set aside your differences for an hour and play a quick pickup game.
I'll be rooting for you when you go on your next binge.
You suck at basketball!
Hey, you mind if I try?
Oof! Oh! That's 10 to 4, you bitch!
Kinda deserved that.
You're the only one who understands me.
Crisscross, you just gotta get over it. I mean, everybody loses once in a while.
Not me. Not at basketball. I'm absolutely humiliated.
Why does it bug you so much?
'Cause Dean is a loser. And he beat me at my own game. This is going to haunt me for years.
Well, why don't you just wait till he comes home and then confront him about the whole situation?
That's the thing. Dean hasn't been home for a whole week. He knows I'm going to confront him.
Where could he even be?
Thanks for letting me stay at your place for a little bit. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Also, I'm really sorry for calling you Jeff Bezos all those times. I've grown a lot since then.
It's okay, Dean. How long do you need to stay here again?
Just until I'm sure that Crisscross won't try to hurt me again after I kicked his ass in basketball.
And how long do we think that'll be?
I don't know. Could be forever.
I see.
Anyway, do you think you could get me a job at Applebee's in the meantime, since I know that's like where you really work?
Oh, actually, I work at Olive Garden now.
Olive Garden?
Yeah, it's so much better. And the food is great. 10 times better than anything that's come out of Applebee's.
You're making my mouth water.
That's not me. That's Olive Garden, located at 328 East Fairmount Avenue, Lakewood, New York, 14750.
You know, after all these episodes, I never thought it would be you making the advertisements.
Now, I've got to go to work at the best job I've ever had. I'll put in a good word for you.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Carl.
Just wait till you try those breadsticks.
You know, my life's been going pretty well lately. I'm getting a new job at Olive Garden. I've successfully quit drinking alcohol, and I've got a date tonight with this cool girl that I've been talking to. And I owe it all to you. You would be so proud.
Wicca, Wicca.
He'll be home soon, and we can all talk it out.
past the limit, tripping on hallucinogenics. My cigarette burnt my finger 'cause I forgot I lit it. Ripping with my sinners.
Chris, come on.
Dean? I know what I have to do.
Chris, come on. What do you have to do? Come on, maybe just talk to me. What do you have to do? Come on. What are you talking about? Please. What do you?
I'm gonna kill Diener.
Ryan, you remember Pressure Luck? Joker,
Yes.
Joker,
Yes.
Devil. Yeah, right.
And welcome back to round 3 of the Professor's episode of
The Game Show!
We have these great people here today, as you saw before. They are all smiling. Roz, you gonna do mask? All right, cool, yeah. They are all smiling, yes, you can see. Because they just had a pretty successful true or false round, especially the professor in the middle. I was a little blown away by that, not gonna lie. So that should raise your confidence a little bit. Roz, you're in the lead now at 260. Professor Mike Igo, 170. And Vince Quattrochi over there, tied at 170. Who's gonna come out on top today? We'll find out pretty soon. But for the time being, let's look at the third round of categories today. All right, so we will come back to this round. Points are doubled, obviously. But we will have asking questions about the Rat Pack, Too Close to Call, music terminology, and the royal family. Roz, how do you feel about the royal family?
I'm a Scottish person.
She's saying she doesn't like their taxes. Is what
Yeah,
she's saying.
well, I remember in one class you had some choice words to say about the royal family, so that's why I asked that. Are we feeling better or worse about these categories?
Worse. What's too close to call? What is
We'll have to
that?
figure that out.
Gotta
But
go, man.
what in life would be too close to call? Is there something that
Grades?
grades,
Car accident.
elections? Who knows?
Avalanche as your skiing.
All right, Roz, we start with you. What would you like today? Category.
Let's
and
do the
points.
Rat Pack for 18.
The Rat Pack for
That's
80.
what I would've
Let's get it
chose.
out of the way. The Rat Pack was known to have visiting members that would temporarily be a part of the pack from time to time. Which of these celebrities can hold the honorary title as a visiting Rat Pack member? Is that A. Errol Flynn, B. Sean Connery, C. Peter O'Toole, or D. Henry Fonda? C, D, and C. So the only one of these members is A. Errol Flynn. Was an honorary member or a visiting member.
I thought he'd be too old by
Yeah,
then.
me too.
You know?
I'm pretty sure he died in looked it up. He died in like 1959. So
Yeah, because that's what I mean. And the
Yeah.
Rat Pack was.
They didn't care he was a Nazi
60s,
sympathizer.
right?
it was the most popular in the 60s. Yes.
Yeah.
That it was actually a little older.
Okay.
All right.
Like
So
Alcohol.
yes, we were back.
Rat Pack 60.
Rat Pack for 60. A group of entertainers, the pack was frequently featured in a variety of movies, primarily in the 1960s and 70s. Which of these movies, however, did not feature any of the big five? Is that A, Go to Hell Bastards, 1963, B, Marriage on the Rocks, 1965, C, Robin and the Seven Hoods, 1964, or D, Ocean's 11, 1960? A, and A. Yes, it is A.
Yes.
Go to Hell
Yes.
Bastards. I haven't seen any of those movies. But I've heard about Ocean's 11 though. Professor.
Rat Pack 40.
All right, they like that category. Rat Pack for 40. Coined by his wife, Lauren Bacall, who was the original leader of the Rat Pack from its inception in 1954 until its death in 1957. Is that A. Clark Gable, B. Alfred Hitchcock, C. Frank Morgan, or D. Humphrey Bogart? Who was the original leader? You may show me. D, D, and D. Yes. Humphrey Bogart, the original leader. Do you guys know, if I would have said the name Frank Morgan, would you know who that is?
Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
That's right. He was the wizard. Pay no attention
wizard.
to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly. Yeah. I looked him up a little bit, and he was the only main actor in that movie that didn't get to see the revival, because apparently in like the 60s, that's when the popularity for the movie.
When he got on TV.
Yes. It was like released on TV. It was
like
popular,
a holiday feature for kids.
Yeah, but he was already dead by then. He actually didn't even make it to the 50s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, Roz, we're back to you. What would you like?
Do the Rat Pack for 20.
Rat Pack for 20. We will finish that category. The Rat Pack, as we've come to know them, featured 5 famous entertainers and socialites. The famous 1960s lineup included Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Joey Bishop, Sammy Davis Jr., and who? Is that A. Peter Lawford, B. Steve McQueen, C. Frankie Avalon, or D. Bob Hope? A, and A, yeah. It's A. Peter Lawford. Someone just mentioned Steve McQueen earlier. I think that was you when you were talking about The Great Escape.
Great Escape.
Yeah, Great Escape.
I saw that he died for getting an illegal heart surgery in Mexico.
Yeah, he was into all sorts of strange things at the end of his life. He was a germaphobe as well.
He was a germaphobe, but he got an illegal heart surgery in Mexico.
Guess he thought it didn't work in Mexico.
Yeah.
No problems with germs in Mexico.
Peter Lawford was married to one of the Kennedys, wasn't he?
Yeah. Too close to call 80.
Too close to call for 80. Following the death of Pope Clement IV, the papal election of 1268 was the longest papal election in the history of the Catholic Church, simply because they could not reach an agreement as to who should be the next pope. How long did they deliberate for? Is that A, 6 months, B, a year, C, 3 years, or D, 6 years? B, D, and C, all different answers. Well, I can tell you that one of you guys are right. That's C.
3 years.
They deliberated for 3 years. All right, the professor, you're back up.
60, too close to call.
All right, I like the way this is going. Too close to call for 60. 2 candidates held campaigns for a spot in Alaska's House District 34 in 2006 that resulted in a tie. What unconventional tie-breaking method was applied for this election? Did they decide it by A, rock, paper, scissors, B, a coin toss, C, blackjack, or D, they let a dog pick the winner?
No idea.
A, D, and B, all different answers again. Well, it's the same as last time. It's B. A coin toss. Any reason you picked that, Vince?
Because the other, you would process of elimination, like a lot of multiple choice. It seemed like the other ones, that one would seem more in terms of conventionality, I guess, because 50% even odds for each.
Roz, we're back up to you.
The royal family for 80.
Okay, breaking the chain. Royal family for 80. The crown may not have as many powers as it once did, but the queen can still do many things. Which of these can she not do? Can she not A, appoint the prime minister? Can she not B, cast a tie-breaking vote in parliament? Can she not C, declare war and control the armed forces? Or can she not D, dissolve parliament and require new elections? Queen Elizabeth II. What can she not do? A, B, and C, all different answers. Sorry, but not this time. It is B.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
She cannot cast a tie-breaking vote in parliament.
She can declare war?
But she can declare war.
I knew she could declare war.
She's the head of the armed forces.
I wouldn't have thought.
That's why they were the
That was Roz.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
Just as Vince was getting close, Roz, you said bye. And you...
Music terminology for 80.
Music terminology for 80 points. There are 4 main properties of sound. Which is not one of those properties? Is that A, pitch, B, tone, C, timbre, or D, duration? All right, what are we thinking? D, C, and C. So one of the main properties of sound is not actually B, tone.
But timbre spelled wrong, so...
Well, you know, so it is timbre? Okay. I didn't know how to say that.
You're right.
Look like timbre, I don't know. The professor, what would you like?
Too close to call for 40, please.
Too close to call for 40 points. So not exactly too close to call, but the 1992 presidential election saw independent candidate Ross Perot gain serious traction in a traditionally two-party election. He ran again in 1996 under which new third party? Is that A, Whig, B, Reform, C, Green, or D, Freedom? All right, what do we have to say? C, and D. So Ross Perot ran under the Reform Party in 1996. That is B. He was like a billionaire, right? He was
he was a strange agent. Really
again, you know,
strange
was
guy.
not alive in the time. Could just just read about him.
You didn't miss much.
All right, we are back up to Roz. What'd you like?
Royal family again for 60.
The royal family for 60. Prince Harry is the younger son of Diana and Charles. What is the name of the son he has with Meghan Markle, who is seventh in line for the throne? Is that A, Bernard, B, George, C, Louis, or D, Archie? Which's the name of the son? You can show me.
Forget.
D, yeah. It is D, Archie. You guys all knew that one. And then, Professor Mike, that puts your score higher than the lowest score, so
Thank
you don't have to worry about that anymore. And we are now at 350 to 600 to 490. Still anybody's game, as usual. Vince, we're back up to you.
Music terminology, 60, please.
Music terminology for 60 points. In a piece of music, if a piece of music asked by a player to jump to the coda, which symbol would be shown, meaning jump to the coda? Is that A, B, C, or D? See, this is the one, Professor Mike, that you have to use your eyes for. I can't read the symbols for you.
It's like trying to figure out Prince's old name back in the day. When he had the symbol for the name.
Yeah. All right. Which symbol would you see if you had to jump to the coda? B, B, and B. Very close. It's A. That little circle with the plus through it means coda. As someone who grew up playing viola.
You know that.
Yeah, viola is an orchestra. We saw that was the coda.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's string music. And on that note, Professor Mike, you are back up.
Too close to call, 20.
Too close to call for 20. We'll finish that category. The 2000 U.S. presidential election was one of the closest in all of America's history, with George W. Bush beating Al Gore 271 to 266 electoral votes. Which state was controversially the deciding factor of the outcome, even ending up in the Supreme Court? Is that A, Texas, B, Florida, C, Georgia, or D, Pennsylvania? All right, which one is it? Yeah, B, and B. They all knew that. You guys were all around for that.
Hanging Chad, baby.
And we teach it in law class.
Chad. I don't think anybody knows what the friggin' hanging Chad is.
What is it?
Hang Chad.
They had pop-out ballots.
Yeah.
And when they recounted them, part of the controversy was that people didn't cleanly pop out the little piece of paper, so it hung, and so they said that was in question, and that was called the hanging Chad.
And Gore ended up getting the popular vote, right?
It was almost a coup d'etat, to tell you the truth, because Bush's family was in control in Florida at the time. I think the governor, or I'm not sure, and they oversaw the recount.
Yeah.
And when it came right down to it, Bush probably shouldn't have been president.
That's what they say.
It should have been Al Gore.
It was decided in Bush v. Gore, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
the Supreme Court, I believe.
Original jurisdiction. Supreme Court original jurisdiction case.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Mike would know that.
Indeed.
And then finally, we got 4 left. And Roz, which one would you like?
I'll take the Queen again.
All right, royal family for 20 or 40?
40.
40, all right. The Duke of Cambridge is one of the 6 royal dukedoms in the United Kingdom. Who is the current Duke of Cambridge? Is it A, Prince William, B, Prince Harry, C, Prince Charles, or D, Prince Andrew? C, D, and D. The current Duke of Cambridge is A, Prince William.
Prince William.
That's not Scotland,
Who's the
right?
one that just died?
The one that just died is Prince Philip, and that was Queen
Philip.
Elizabeth's husband.
Right, exactly.
Couldn't make it to 100. Too bad.
No, he couldn't.
99.
And neither could my great-grandma, who died a month before she was 100.
Oh, man. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I know. Been through that so many times. All right, so we are back up to Vince. What would you like?
Music terminology for 40, please.
Music terminology for 40. Which of these is correct about the difference between a sonata and a symphony? Is it A, a sonata has one movement, a symphony has many. B, a sonata is for 1 to 2 instruments, a symphony is for a full orchestra. C, a sonata is for strings, a symphony is for brass and woodwinds. Or D, a sonata is played under 90 beats per minute, a symphony is faster. Which one of these is the correct difference?
No idea.
All right, what'd we say? A, and A. Interesting choice, guys, but it's actually B. A sonata is for 1 to 2 instruments to play in like a group, and a symphony is always everybody. And we will finish off with you, Professor Mike Igo, to pick the last category.
Music terminology for 20.
All right, music terminology for 20. A deviant from most other stringed instruments. Which clef does the viola primarily use? I played this instrument for 8 whole years. Is that A, the alto clef, B, the treble clef, C, the bass clef, or D, the tenor clef?
No idea.
B, A, and C, all different answers. All right, it is A.
Oh.
Alto.
The viola plays in the alto clef, which
I hope you know that since you played
I
it.
did,
Okay.
and trust me, it was the most annoying thing because every time we'd have to play other stringed music instruments, like if I had to look off a bass part or a violin part, it would be either in bass clef or treble clef. And it was like learning another language. You had to like convert everything. Yeah, the viola is in the
Because I would
alto
thought the
clef.
viola would be the bass.
Yeah,
Because of the way that it sounds, you know. But
It's right in the middle. It's very, very dumb, but hey, you got it right, Ross. And finally, the royal family for 20. Throughout British history, different houses have been the reigning family. What house is the current royal family? Are they A, the House of Tudor, B, the House of Windsor, C, the House of Hanover, or D, the House of Habsburg? All right, which one is it? B, B, and B. Yeah, you guys knew that one. Is B. Roz, I saw you instantly. You instantly knew that one.
Yeah.
They're on the House of
Been
Windsor.
to the castle.
Yeah.
Windsor Castle.
Tudor was that was the first Elizabeth, or maybe
It's in the Tudor times, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, Tudor I know was Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary was the House of Tudor. I think her sister might have been the first or the last of that. So I don't know. Okay, so we finished round 3 today with the Professor Mike Ayo at 390 points. Rosalind Smith at 660 points, and then Vince Quattrochi at 530 points. Very, very deviant scores here today. But Professor Mike, what are you going to do about that in the final round? What's going to go on here?
Go home and be depressed? I mean, oh, we got more game. Okay.
Yeah, you're not out of this yet. So,
Thank God.
Roz, what are your thoughts about all this? That proves now that the first round wasn't just a fluke. Like you kept that lead.
I guess most of them though.
But they were educated guesses, right? They weren't just like.
Well, the ironic thing is, when I was guessing, I didn't go with my first gut, and I would have more points. But
Oh well, you
spilled
live and you
milk
learn.
and all that, you know.
Yeah, and then how are we feeling over there?
You know, it's really funny. You watch these people like on Jeopardy and do it, and you forget that this is the kind of atmosphere, like sitting at home. You know, oh, I know that. Oh, I know that. But even in this situation, the whole action of it's a little different. The only reason I'd be disappointed if I was told that I couldn't go home and drink beer after this.
So regardless,
I can't lose.
you win or lose today.
Yeah,
you're going home and drinking beer.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way that I would feel bad about it. This has been a lot of fun, you know. This is cool.
Well, you guys are all very, very fun energies to have on today. But you're going to make that bet based on what you think you might know on wartime personalities. So.
And how much can we bet?
As Roz, for you can bet anything between 0 and 660. Anything you're gonna do to make that you think you might win. So it's a strategy. There's strategies involved. Bet it all, bet nothing, bet somewhere in between. We will come back after the break and we'll find out who will take home this Olive Garden gift card of the professors.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For executive service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office.
guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Kobe Bryant's nickname?
That was the last true or false question.
Okay.
So that's what I have to start.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah. Carl Aldinger's a smart dude. What?
Somebody else.
Oh, all right. Dean wants to be credited as the host of that episode.
Dean the Dream?
Dean the Dream hosted that, yes. And it is that time again, folks. The final round of this not so special episode at all episode of
The Game Show!
They have all placed their bets today. And I like the feeling I get when I see all their scores, because this game could go any possible way. Nobody's out of this yet, and it's all based on whether they get the question right.
It's an emotional moment for you. It's understandable.
This is my favorite part.
Either that or Jesus punished you for saying a not so special moment.
Yeah, I guess so. There was random. No, I'm good. Whew, there's something in my throat, but we're good now. Okay. So I have all your bets. I'm going to set the clock for 90 seconds. And remember, it's something you write, and you do not want to let your other contestants see it, because this is for all the marbles. So write it on your lap. Whatever you have to do, make sure nobody sees. We're going to see this question. Wartime personalities. All right, Nick, you can reveal it. Serving under Robert E. Lee, this general is one of the best-known commanders of the Confederate Army. He was killed just after the Battle of Chancellorsville in 1863. You may begin now. Say, yeah, best known commanders. If Robert E. Lee was the famous commander of the Confederate Army, this one was number 2. We are at 50 seconds left, so. Civil War, man. Civil War. 30 seconds. What were some Supreme Court cases during the Civil War?
Habeas corpus is one of them.
All right.
Habeas corpus, and Abraham Lincoln suspended at that time.
Yeah.
No defamation yet.
Vince, what were you doing during the Civil War?
Excuse me? I was...
Here's just a small boy, though.
What? The Civil War.
Yeah.
Here's just a small boy.
Good for you, smart ass.
All right. That is time. And so we will start with the professor. What did you say today? You said Sumter.
Yes.
And with 350 points. That was wrong. You bet today 350 points. So the professor finishes today with 40 points.
Boom.
Nothing to be ashamed about, because we haven't seen their answers yet, so that doesn't mean anything. Vincent Quattrochi, what did you say today? Vince said Stonewall Jackson, which is
Correct. Yeah, Stonewall Jackson.
Well done, Vince.
So
Yes.
Vince bet today 250 points. So you finish at 780 points.
Good job.
And it doesn't matter because Roz, what did you say?
I said Francis Marion.
Francis Marion, which is incorrect, and you bet 100 points, so you finish at 560. Vince Quattrochi, you are today's winner.
Well done.
All right, you may put on your mask, come up here and receive your gift card.
He
Look
came
at
up
you.
from the left.
He watches Jeopardy every day.
It's funny, right now I'm hearing Al Yankovic singing I Lost on Jeopardy. If any of you know that. Love Al Yankovic.
Well, look at that. Now his wife can't say anything bad because you know what? He won. Come on up here and get your card.
His wife was going to give him the rickets if he didn't win.
Was that, here, you can stand right here.
Oh.
You can look into the camera. Have anybody to thank?
Miller High Life Brewing.
All right, he thanks Miller High Life. Was that worth missing the Knicks game today?
Nets.
That's what I meant, not...
No, they're still on. I gotta get home. They haven't lost yet.
Well,
okay, well,
take a $25 Olive Garden gift card.
I'll give it to Michelle. She does that.
Okay.
But thank you, Ryan.
Of course,
This was
no
a lot
problem.
of fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Vince.
And that was the Professor's episode of
The Game Show.
How do you guys, what were you guys' overall thoughts of the whole thing?
It's definitely a growth experience.
Awesome.
Ready? I won't look at you.
Action. Ready. Action.
You're making.
Action.
You're making my mouth water.
Action. Alright, ready. Action. Oh boy.
That was you.